All right, guys, so a little bit in sequence first because I think you guys know how to do pull-ups. But again, big thing on pull-ups, I'll just say first is shoulders down and back. Try and keep that upper arm path pretty much at the side. Trying to get a little bit more lats going on because, again, this is the superhero workout. So, again, a little bit more lats, upper back, delts, a little bit of chest and stuff in there, and along with abs. So really kind of the stuff that emphasizes a V-taper. If you don't have rings, ideally neutral shoulder width grip. And if you don't have neutral grip, then obviously just go underhand grip, shoulder width. But the big thing here is the sequence of the workout so you can understand these first two exercises are done how I traditionally like to go. So a lot of rest, even though it's technically a superset, you're going absolutely as heavy as you can. So that's my heaviest set of pull-ups right there. So go obviously with it going to be weight. And even though this next one is 3 exercises back-to-back, not typically what I have as an output exercise, you know, we're going to make do with what we've got in gyms and stuff now. So still go as heavy as you possibly can on this. So that's what you're going to see is these first 2 exercises. You do your pull-ups, take the rest prescribed, then you do this one, take the rest prescribed, pull-ups again, rest prescribed, then this one again, rest prescribed, and then you're going to be doing all 5 together again, including these 2 in kind of a giant set after that. So these first 2 rounds are still the load-based ones. So the first 2 sets of pull-ups as heavy as you can, top set. So my first top sets were basically the one with a 25 around my waist and then a 10 around my waist for my second one. And then when I did all the rounds together for the next 3 rounds, it was just all body weight. So same with this, my heaviest dumbbell for my first 2 rounds, and then I had to go a little bit lighter. And so for this one, pretty straightforward. Obviously, just focus on the delt head you're focusing on as much as possible. So first one is rear delts. Second one, even though it's the same path, because of the axis we're moving around, in the first position, your side delt is mainly on the top of the joint. When you externally rotate your whole arm to thumb up, the front delt is more on the side of the joint. So again, moving from rear to side to front, and actually a pretty damn good movement overall for what it is. Still going as heavy as you can. So now by the time you've gotten to this, you're going into the giant sets. So again, you've done, now with the shorter rest, you're going the pull-ups, then the shoulder one again, and then into this crunch extended set, which 3 rounds of this is effing horrible. So again, if you don't have this pad, I highly recommend you get one. But even if you don't, roll something up that's kind of a similar dimensions under your lower back, just because it allows you to further lengthen your rectus abdominis. So obviously if I was flat on the back, I couldn't get this extra extension I'm getting there, so longer rectus abdominis. And biggest thing you're trying to see here is my pelvis stays pretty much completely still. I just visualize a point on the bottom of my ribs pulling towards a point on the top of my hips. So I'm isolating just spine moving, and the easy thing for an extended set is drop that weight, take whatever you can with body weight. I'm still trying to always go a nice controlled pace, do some tactile stuff sometimes, get the hands on there so I really feel those 2 points pulling together, never taking a rest. And then this is the little cheat. As soon as you put your hands in your upper arm over the other side of that axis, they're actually helping you a little bit. So nothing crazy. The extended sets, 2 or 3 reps without the weight, and then 2 or 3 reps, obviously, with the little cheat, which is basically a self spot. Banded push-ups, which are pretty self-explanatory. If you got these handles, I would highly recommend them because it's a little bit easier at neutral wrists than on the ground. Wrap that band around your back. Just find a position where you can keep it relatively still. Shoulder blades pulling together at the bottom, and then just let them move as they move. I'm still focusing on mainly chest here, squeezing hard across. I absolutely do not mind getting a little bit of front delt and a little bit of triceps working as well too, but my main focus is my upper arm driving across my body. And obviously, not a brand new move, tons of people have done this, but crazy effective movement. I mean, obviously your body weight's pretty decent for doing a large percentage of your body weight for push-ups, and then wrapping that band around is pretty damn brutal. And then extending it just to body weight, as you can tell, I mean, this workout, to be honest, kicked my ass. I really enjoyed it. And this is a time to do these things that are a little bit different, but can still get great stimulus. Because you'll see on every single one of these things, I'm still taking things to failure. I mean, obviously my rep ranges are a little bit higher. Thank God for pull-ups because they're always brutal, and putting a 25 around your back is nasty. And this is going to be the only one that's going to be pretty damn different for you guys from what I normally do. So again, another ab thing. And I kind of just wanted to tie all this together, not because it's anything super magic. If I was a functional guy, I'd pawn this off as some sort of functional magic working slings and bullshit together. There's something to that, but again, it's not magic. It's just kind of a nice movement, for lack of a better word, that ties everything together. So I'm letting my hips rotate. My ribs are even rotating a little bit as well, too. And I'm doing a half pull-up type motion as well, too. So it really waxes everything on the front. Because I'm doing a half pull-up and my scap's pulling down, I would argue that my serratus is still working just a little bit. So you'll see it starts with a half pull-up, half rotation-y, half crunchy type thing. Hip flexors still going as well, too. And then finishing with just a little bit of a rotating just going through spinal flexion with a little bit of hip flexion as well, too, side to side. So I'd really say this works everything. I mean, you'll feel it. So basically just the normal hanging crunches. You know, there's obviously mainly spinal flexion, a little bit of hip flexion. Those are brutal in and of themselves on rectus abdominis. I just wanted to include a bunch of shit and at the same time kind of wax my back a little bit further, just having to hang on and pull myself up just a little bit. So you're definitely going to get a little bit more serratus involved because there's a little bit of depression and protraction involved hanging overhead there. So serratus are definitely involved. Rectus abdominis is still getting waxed. Hip flexors wax just a little bit. And the rotation component is going to include internal external obliques, as well as some deep muscles, which isn't a big deal. There's deep muscles running along your spine. The QL basically running from the bottom of your ribs to the top of your hips. But again, it's just one of those things where at any point in time, it's honestly a good ab movement. The nature of abs is, you know, I still like to have this notion of progressive with form if I want progressive with reps, but the reality is it's not a muscle that you want as hypertrophied as much as possible. I mean, you want them bigger to an extent, and you'll look good if you have low body fat, but reality is it's, you know, just something that you can kind of train a little bit different. You don't need to logbook them and progress the shit out of things if you really don't need them to be that much bigger. So again, it's the superhero workout. Called it that just because obviously, again, these are some V-taper muscles. Again, it's not the perfect hypertrophy workout. And again, I always want to point you guys in the best direction, which I'm doing year-round. But right now, obviously, I want to provide you some great options, and I don't want to confuse it with, at the same time, you know, I'm doing pull-ups. I think I weigh almost 230 now, and I'm doing pull-ups of 25 pounds around my waist. That's a pretty freaking damn good output exercise. Imagine if you can do them with 245s around your waist. You're going to be freaking big. So everything in here is pretty progressible. You don't need a very big dumbbell. I think I was doing it with 15 or 20 pounds, maybe at the heaviest. I mean, if you get to the point where you're doing that with 25 or 30 pounds, you're going to have some big-ass delts. You know, push-ups, if you get to the point where you're doing 30-plus or something with that band on there. And then same with abs. So again, if your body fat's on point, this is a great exercise for very good-looking, very big lats, upper back, really big round delts, and obviously tying in with a little bit of chest and triceps and getting the abs involved in well too. So again, just overall a little bit out of my norm, but still a very, very good workout. And again, how do I incorporate this? I didn't feel like taking an off day, so I just did this. So that's how you can incorporate as well too. For the most part, again, I feel really bad if you're a medical professional and listening to this. I apologize to assume because 95% of society is just sitting on their ass right now. So apologies to you, but for everyone else, recovery is not an issue right now. So again, instead of an off day, maybe just do this to help keep you from going insane and just to cut into your Netflix time. But anyway, so great workout. And just one more time to reiterate, in case you're unsure how to go through this, you know, so you're going to do your heavy pull-ups first, take a long rest, you know, so obviously after a little bit of warm-up, do your heavy pull-ups, then do your heavy three-way delt deal, and then take a long break, then do heavy pull-ups, your back offset, but still heavy, you know, pull-ups, and then three-way delt deals. Those should be your heaviest sets of both of those. Even though they're going back and forth, you'll see there's a long rest in between rounds or in between the superset. So that is just about how much load can you do within hypertrophy rep range parameters. And again, if you want to repeat this workout, really try and progress those. And then you have 3 rounds of all of it together as a giant set. So then you do the pull-up, to the delt, to the crunch, to the push-up, and then to the hanging ab raise. All those basically non-stop back-to-back, just as quick as you can move from exercise to exercise, obviously without freaking out. You don't have to fall over because it takes a second, you know, to get one to the other or whatever, to get kind of set up for a second. And then 3 rounds of those through. And for those, just stay as heavy as you can for the given rep range. Obviously, by the last rounds, I didn't record my last rounds, but I wasn't doing a bajillion reps. Some of my later rounds with the push-ups and stuff. But anyway, hope you guys enjoy this workout. Again, a great one to incorporate. Do the best you can at this point in time. But again, if you have exercises, you have the opportunity to easily progress. You know, most of us don't have a hack squat in our garage, but almost all of us have somewhere we can do pull-ups on. And like I said, if you haven't bought them, buy some rings. If you don't have it right now, then do some pull-ups on some steps on a tree and a playground that's, open. You're legally allowed to go and do it or whatever. But again, get those damn rings because they're one of the few things that hasn't sold out everywhere. And again, you can tie them to anything. I'm sure most of you have a tree somewhere by where you're at. If nothing else, something sturdy in your house. So again, as always, leave me your feedback below if you got it. Hope you guys are doing the best that you can. Everyone's as safe and as well off as possible. And until the next workout.